about your early days in FFA, so junior high, high school.
High school. Dr. Herr was my first real FFA teacher, and I have to confess there was a lot of missed opportunities there. I was a child who thought I should be the not the chaplain but the advisor, and then Dr. Herr was going to pick the student advisor himself, and he ended up picking somebody else. So I missed an opportunity to be an FFA officer in 9th grade. I learned a lot under Dr. Herr. I wish I would have shaped up and listened and took a lot more than what I did. But yeah, very instrumental. One day he taught showmanship of livestock. It was about a 15-minute crash course. That was one of my fond memories of Dr. Herr. One of the things he talked about was eye contact with the judge and presentation, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I did learn and a lot more I could have learned under Dr. Herr.
And you were saying that your siblings also showed. Was that in high school and like middle school?
Yeah, my older siblings were in the early days of some of this showing locally. They didn't continue past high school at all.
Okay.
But they spun it as a good experience,
mm-hmm.
and I was inclined to follow suit. And yeah, I had a lot more fun with it than they did. I really enjoyed it. It really helped me a lot.
Did you feel like there was competition with that? Because you did have like a little bit of an age gap. So were you like the little brother they were helping, or were you going to be better than your older siblings?
Yeah, so with them being 4 and 5 grades ahead of me, and with early graduation, we were never competitive.
Okay.
I had a younger brother who was, there was maybe a little bit of competition. I remember showing his one lamb in a competition because I was older and maybe bigger and stronger, and I could make that lamb behave better than he could.
Mm-hmm.
I followed agriculture a little bit further than any of my siblings.
Okay. Now, what was a highlight from your showing career? Something you'll always remember?
Oh, I wrote this answer down, and maybe it's not. You know, one of the things I will never forget, it was at Lampeter Fair. I got 11th place out of 13 children in the showmanship. And it was one of those moments where, are you going to be bitter or are you going to get better? And the kid in front of me, he started crying, and he actually beat me. So at that point, I resolved that I'm going to get better at showing livestock, and this is simply a building block getting next to last. So yeah, that was a good experience. Failure is not fatal, and success is not final, and I just used that as an opportunity.
Yeah, seriously. I feel like there's experiences like that when you compete at like the regional or like the county level now, and it's like so many groups of different kids, and I know I had that same situation with like public speaking and stuff, and you could get a really bad ranking at like regional levels, but then at counties you do really good, and it just kind of all depends.
Yep, I did public speaking. I got 3rd out of 4.
Okay.
I remember that too, and there again, you get a little bit out of what you put into it. Prepare.
Mm-hmm.
I should have prepared more.
Yeah. And that's also what you think of on that bus ride home. You're like, what could I have done better? And it's like, what was I doing?
You do.
Yep.
You build on these experiences. If you're just going to be bitter and regretful, it's not going to be very helpful.
And it doesn't make it fun anymore.
Oh, it doesn't. No, then you might as well get out.
Yeah. I have a question here about your peers in high school and that you were elected the Grassland FFA chapter president. And how did leading the chapter help you enhance your ability to like work with others? But then also now today you lead a business. So how do you think that translates now?
I never thought of myself as a leader. My parents always did well with relationships, and apparently I inherited some of that. My parents ran a business, and I must have seen some of that role model as values are more caught than they're taught.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I learned to stay in my lane. I learned to try to work or hone your talents and abilities that you're given. There's certain things that I'm not gifted at, and to recognize, to have some self-awareness of what you're good at, what you're not, and to acknowledge it, and then to really push forward on what you are gifted at.
Yeah. Now, can you tell us then about your business now and how that came to be, how you started to get into the I guess it's not the tree service.
It is a tree service.
It's yeah.
Oh, so yeah, isn't that something how my dad's friend was a survivor of polio, and he was handicapped, and he was working for a tree service, and right out of high school I had no plans, and he seen where I was physically healthy. He said, you go help this Amish tree service, you drive him, you carry brush. So I started doing that, and I realized I loved cutting trees, all things chainsaw cutting, adventure, somewhat risk-taking, entrepreneur. Somewhere along the line, I'm the one that I like analyzing. So after some analyzing, I seen a need for different trucks and chippers and some equipment and a little bit of a risk taker. I put myself out there and started buying some of this equipment, and and then amazingly, when I was given this American degree, this finalist at the Nationals, the Shopping News ran this very nice article about me, and when they ran that article, that was like the best free advertisement. The timing was just right.
Yeah.
I was able to get some awareness in our community and start getting more calls, and of course the more you do, the more people see you, the more they talk, and that's kind of where Martin Tree Service began, really, from that article from the Shopping News.
I mean, I guess it was 2 summers ago, because it was right before I went to college. There were 4 houses on our road that all got trees cut down at some point on our road, all Martin's Tree Service. Like everyone,
wow.
And it was so funny because it would be like 1 week the truck was there, and then it would be gone for like 2-3 weeks.
Contagious.
Yes, because I mean, if you see the signs in the yard, you're gonna be like, okay, they're obviously a trustworthy brand. Their yard still looks nice. It's not torn up. We were talking about that. So yeah, there were 4 times in a summer that truck was on our road.
A job well done is the reward is another job.
Yeah.
And you'll find that too. A job well done interviewing will lead to more opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you tell us about like the beginning, like maybe like some struggles of Martin's Tree Service that you had? Because you were young. How old were you?
Well, I was 18 and a half when I started cutting these trees.
Yeah.
And when I went for my American degree, what really hurt to win that thing at the National, I did not have workers' comp, or I didn't have workers' comp and all the legalities covered at that point, which was about 2 years after graduation.
Yeah. What
for struggles did I have? Well, first of all, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a parent in the tree service.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, I really should have had somebody mentor me or could have coached me along the way with a lot of struggles. I was just a rip-tearing 20-year-old that needed a little guidance.
Yeah. And how do you think you got that guidance? Did you read books? Did you talk to people in the industry already? Or did you just kind of learn from your mistakes? Because I feel like that's what I've done.
I've learned from a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
A lot of customers will your customers become your coaches.
Yeah.
We'll just say it that way. And you have to analyze and give thought to what they're saying, their criticism and their praises,
mm-hmm.
and run with that. And they're your best coaches.
Yes, seriously. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your SAE project? Because it earned a lot of recognition at the national level.
My SAE project was probably raising sweet corn and maybe red beets, or the lambs, and some of the breeding sheep. And I do have to confess, some of those numbers were maybe a little bit of a guesstimate than totally accurate. And if you've done SAE projects, they are not the highlight of your summer. It's drudgery. And once, somewhere along the line, Mr. Day sat me down and said, look, we're going to fill these things out, and I want it done right. And after not doing it right once or twice, and maybe some of his fingers in my shoulder, it soon became evident, we're going to fill this out, and we're going to do it right. And I spent, all my friends were out having fun, and I was struggling, and I filled this SAE out, and I put a lot of thought into it, and there was a lot of awareness of what all goes into a business. Like, you start thinking about all the halters. I mean, obviously the feed and the hay is obvious, but purchasing the lamb, but halters and soap and minerals and transportation and housing and health, veterinarian. There's just a lot that goes into it. That was kind of nice to see all what goes into doing a project.
Yeah, seriously. Now, everything was on paper.
Everything was on
so
paper.
So what did that look like when you turned it in? This is just, I guess, for my own understanding. So I guess I could explain. So when you do SAU projects, you fill everything out. What I did is fill everything out on the computer, and you kind of just reiterate like what you did and how many hours you put into your project, and you need to include pictures and like a very detailed description, because at the national level these can get ranked and you can win awards, which is what Mr. Martin did here. So how did you do that all on paper and then turn it into the national level? You just mailed it all in?
Well, there was erasers and pencils.
Well,
but still, you kind of had like a scratch copy.
Okay.
And once the scratch copy kind of looked like it would all jive or was copacetic, as Mr. Day would say, then you transferred that into the book.
Okay, so you had a whole book for it.
We had a whole book for it. Oh yeah, this was pages of
Okay.
expenses and income and miscellaneous and pictures and
Yeah.
time and
Yeah, all the receipts you have to keep too, yes.
yeah, when your friends are out playing, you know it.
Yeah, I just remember like, did you guys do SAE visits in the summer?
Yeah,
And they would come over and look at
Yeah,
everything,
they
and then
did.
they would say what you could do better, and you're like, please don't make me sit in here and work on my SAE.
But that accountability was good. You know what? It was kind of neat that the teachers cared about you.
Yes.
Like that. I'll have a teacher comment later.
Okay. Now, can you tell us about, if you're looking back on the 30 plus years you've been in business, what do you think, we'll say the top 3 things to growing a business, and how did your FFA and like all of your ag experience factor into that?
So Mr. Day, Cliff Day, was a servant. He took this job, and here's my teacher comment. Like, if there's teachers that are watching this, and you never underestimate the power of influence you have on your students. And Mr. Day and Mr. Lawfer and another teacher, Mr. Dean, they were a huge influence on me. They built confidence into me. They believed in me. They came out and visited my projects. And when they start believing in you, that becomes confidence. Where I was going with this is, so Cliff Day was a servant. He wasn't just a teacher, he was a servant. And he was there to serve the students and to build character and confidence into his students. And he there was probably certain ones he was looking for, and I fit his criteria. And we got along, and yeah, he was worth more than what he ever got paid.
Yeah.
He was never paid enough. And he always went there. He was always in like parliamentary procedure. He would come back to work every evening, or different evenings. He didn't live too far away from the school, and he invested in students. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of students out there that owe him a gratitude of thanks.
Yeah.
So so Mr. Day was involved in the community, and we learned about serving the community, and we knew the FFA motto, the 4th line is living to serve, mm-hmm. and it's on 54 now, and learning to do, doing to learn. I did that in high school, and then it was earning to live, and I've kind of made a living cutting trees, and now I'm at the point where I'm just simply living to serve, mm-hmm. serving the community, coming back, helping with interviews. What is in my lane to serve the community? One of them is going to be an ambassador for planting more trees. Mm-hmm. Like we need more trees in the community. And there's a lot of places I can use my influence and serve the community. Like that's really rewarding is to serve other people, mm-hmm. at my age anyways.
That's amazing. Now, I'm just interested too. Are you doing anything now to like plant more trees in the area? Are you working on anything like that you could share?
So our business, we're offering to plant trees.
Okay.
That's part of it. But there again, the customers want somebody to plant a tree with the whole project. I've been giving out trees at great different years. I love that. I'm buying American chestnut trees to plant up in my woodlot because I believe in restoring the American chestnut tree. Every day I'm telling these customers, you got to replant. Like this is part of we've removed, somebody needs to replant. Mm-hmm. Like this is just personally what my DNA is. Like up through New Holland here, it used to be full of trees. You drive Main Street, you don't see any shade trees along Main Street.
Not until you get down to like Leola on 23, yeah, but that's not even anything, yeah.
We need to bring some of them back.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And I think they're doing good with that, with like the butterfly garden
Yeah,
over there. That's the first thing I
Yeah,
thought of
yeah.
when you said that. There could be some more trees in there though too,
There could be.
along that walking path.
A little bit. New Holland Park has been planting trees.
Okay.
They're doing well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good place to do it when they need the shade for those concerts in the summer.
But that's just two little places.
I know,
Like,
yeah.
homeowners need to get off and they need to rake up the leaves. And yes, they're dirty. I get it. But come on. They enrich lives having nice shade trees and ornamental trees.
Yeah. Now, is there anything, as we wrap up the interview, that you wish I had asked or that you wish we touched on?
Oh, not necessarily. Just look over my notes here. I mentioned something about teachers believing in your child, but that is also true with parents. In my age, I have children, and I need to create opportunities and instill confidence, responsibility, and opportunities in my children's lives too. And I have one of them that I think she's going to do record books really well. She's only in 8th grade right now, but I'm looking forward to helping her with her record books because I think she's going to thrive on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you're organized, Jill, do you go to your record books?
She's very organized
Okay,
and
yeah.
perfectionist.
Okay.
The youngest one, Ashlyn.
Okay.
We'll see where that goes.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for meeting with us today.
You're very welcome.
And thank all of you for watching Plowing the Past. Stay tuned for more videos.